Walleye male, 17.7.
This is probably one of the most popular in the UP, given its size, and it's just known as a walleye factory. Really, this whole eastern shore has perfect spawning habitat. It's gravel and cobble, it's windswept, so the substrate is kept clean, and really it's known around the Midwest. People come here from Illinois, Wisconsin, so really a tremendous walleye fishery.
Every 5 years, Michigan's Department of Natural Resources conducts a walleye survey on Lake Gogebic, the largest inland lake in the state's Upper Peninsula. They're looking to determine how many walleye are in the lake, as well as how the fish are doing.
We set nets out here yesterday. Today we're running the nets. We'll take the fish, we'll measure them, check them for their sex, if they're male or female, check for ripeness, and then we give them a distinguishing clip as part of the mark and recapture process to estimate the population.
We handle the fish, we give them a mark, which in this case is a fin clip. Release them, they mix with all the other walleyes that we didn't capture, and then we do electrofishing of the entire shoreline to get our second sample, and you're basically looking at the proportion of the population that you marked.
We use our nets to mark the fish, and we keep track of the number of fish marked in the population. We'll pull our nets, wait 24 hours, and then we use a boom shocker and we shock the entire shoreline of the lake. We'll look at the ratio of marked versus unmarked fish to determine the population estimate. For example, if we marked 1,000 fish and we do our recapture run and 25% of the fish are recaptured, our estimate would assume that the population is 4,000 fish. So that's how the math works.
More than a century ago, walleye were stocked in this lake by the DNR.
They actually came from Saginaw Bay, and they just took off. The great spawning habitat, they took off. They've been naturally reproducing since. We don't stock it at all. And we'd love to keep it that way. We never want to stock a lake if Mother Nature can do its thing on its own.
The DNR can estimate if there's an adequate food supply for the fish.
So you might ask, well, why do you care how old the fish is? Well, first, we can find out if there's a lot of year classes. We know exploitation rates are low. We can find out how fast they're growing. If they're growing well, there's a lot of food for them. If they're growing poorly, they're competing for food. So we can get a lot of biological information. It gives us the trend for the lake, how healthy the population is, and make some of our management decisions.
Walleye typically begin spawning in the spring as soon as the lake is no longer iced over. Their spawning season can be over in just a few days. The short spawning season can lead to long shifts for DNR staff that are working to complete the survey.
It's probably going to be a good 10-hour days for most of the crews. Sometimes you might even have a 12-hour day, but they love it. We love being out here.
I've been doing this for 33 years, so to still like it, it's cool.